Welcome everyone and welcome back to another Nubian Beings. This week I'm so excited to have the amazing multimedia artist Caroline Chinakwe with us. Caroline, thank you for being here.
I'm excited to be here.
It's wonderful to be in your studio.
Thank you.
So I'm just going to ask you a few questions because I'm a huge admirer of your art, as you know. I have some of it myself. Thank you. But I'd love to share with our audience a little bit about your journey and about your work. So my first question is, how did your journey as an artist begin?
So as you know, and some of you watching this will know, I started off in fashion. So fashion was something that was my life for over 20 years. And towards the end of my career in fashion, I decided that, I mean, way earlier, I just knew fashion really wasn't for me, but I was just in it. But towards the end of the career, I started working with African designers. I started working a lot in Nigeria as well, with Lagos Fashion Design Week. I did a couple of shows there. I worked with a few up and coming people in the fashion industry. So I was really enjoying going back and forth to Lagos. And I really wanted to bring our aesthetic and style into my work in the UK. As a stylist in the UK, I wasn't really happy with what I was producing. And I really wanted to show a different side of the culture, and especially a different side of what Black models could look like and African models, and fuse, my Nigerian African culture with my Western culture in a really creative way. So that's how I started creating these collages that then turned into art.
Oh my goodness, that's amazing. And you mentioned, going back to Nigeria and that being sort of a big push for you. But how does your heritage influence your art?
It influences it a lot because I've been self-employed most of my life, which has allowed me to really be very comfortable in my skin. And looking back now, I realize now how advantageous that was, as someone who could make my own rules in terms of how I work, where I worked, who I worked with. And I'm very spiritual as well. So from a very, very young age, I was very much about trying to be my authentic self. And I didn't realize that when I was young because, I mean, I don't want to go too deep into my past. I'm sure we don't have time for that. But my father's death at the age of 12 really redefined who I was as a human being and who I wanted to be as well. And one of the things I realized is that I really didn't want to sit into anywhere that I wasn't comfortable. My mum is a very, very strong Nigerian woman, very liberal as well for a Nigerian woman, very, very creative, very into fashion herself, and also very into the culture. So I was surrounded by aunties, I was surrounded by mum, and that also allowed me to just be my authentic self. And I realized how much I love my culture. I love being Nigerian. I love being Black. And obviously the influence of the Western culture was also it was great. The mixture of both of them allowed you to kind of like refine your culture. And so my artwork is really a really, really good combination of who I am as a person and what I want people to see about us and how beautiful it is. Does that answer your question?
Yes. Okay. And I absolutely love that because your work is so distinctive. Like, I think it has a very, very specific aesthetic. And knowing you and obviously experiencing your art, I can see that. Like, it's so vibrant and it has a signature. What inspires you in general as an artist?
Just people. One thing, I've never been, so even when I was in fashion, I was not a researcher. I was not one of those, when I was at fashion school, we were always encouraged to go to museums, go to fashion shows, be inspired, look at other people's collection. That wasn't me because I really wasn't into fashion. I was very much in my own mind with things. So I didn't really go to museums a lot. I didn't go to fashion shows. I stopped going to London Fashion Week years and years ago. I think I went to 2 and I was like, this is not for me. But as a creative, I realized that I'm just inspired by life. And, and I say to people, you see things all the time that goes into your database of memory. And when you're ready to draw up on those things, that they come. So when I started creating these pieces, it wasn't because I saw anything or I watched anything. It was just things that was in my mind. I look and I think, this is literally what you're seeing is what's in my mind, what I didn't even know was in my mind until I started creating. Like when I start putting the work together and I'm looking at jewelry and I'm pulling things and I'm seeing faces and I'm just like collaging and putting all these things together, I don't know what's going to turn out to be until it's done. So there's no preparation whatsoever. And I just think it's just who I am. That's the only way I can explain. Like, this is just who I am. This is how I see things. This is what I want to see. So you're really getting an in-depth view into my mind, and I'm getting an in-depth view into my mind as well as to how I think.
But I think that's wonderful, and also really special to know that like you're sharing that with us. Like, right, we're getting a peek into your psyche, which is phenomenal.
It's interesting to me because I'm not a trained artist. I didn't go to art school whatsoever. I wasn't even interested in art. Didn't go to exhibitions. I said I didn't know any artists. So I coming from fashion, I've always been in the creative industry. Started off in music. You know, I wanted to be an actor first, then a music artist, and then a fashion designer, and now an artist, a visual artist. And I think that creativity is the closest you will ever go to get into what's in someone's brain. You know, I can tell you, but you can't see it, you can't visualize it. And so I have such a huge appreciation now for arts and artists. You know, I was one of those people to go to a museum like, what the hell is that? Like, I don't get it. What is that? What are they thinking? Now I get it. Now I'm like, you know, if it's a abstract piece, I'm like, you were either effed up, so I'm like effed up, on drugs or something to create something like this. But I'm also one of those artists that I cannot create art if I'm not happy. So everything I create, I'm always in a good place.
Oh, that's beautiful.
If I'm sad or whatever, I literally can't do anything. Like if I'm sad, I just can't do anything. Can't eat, can't sleep, can't drink that. But it doesn't last long. But my creativity always comes from just me being happy. And yeah.
Oh, I love that. And you mentioned that you've been self-employed for the majority of your career.
Yeah.
So as a busy entrepreneur, what are things that you do to unwind and to take care of yourself?
I love watching television. That's my go-to. Like,
thanks for being honest.
Love watching TV. I'm very much a homebody, even though social media looks like I'm out and about. I'm really not.
Yeah.
I don't have FOMO ever. Like, the world could be partying and I'm the only one in my room. I don't care.
Yeah.
Enjoy it, and I can watch you and feel like, great, I'm glad you're having fun. I just love being at home in my bed, watching a reality show of any kind.
Yeah.
As some of you might have watched in one of the videos that I posted recently, I'm a huge fan of Housewives.
Yeah.
So give me a housewife any day and I'm happy. Like, I'm in my happy place.
I love it.
Maybe a glass of wine as well, or a super malt, or tonic water. I'm in my happy place. So that's my unwind, you know, or walking in Hampstead Heath. You know, if I want to be really bougie.
You know what? And you were featured in Housewives. One of your.
I know. That was shocking. So someone had sent it to me on social media. I was like, oh my God, you know, Sheena Lynch was wearing it, and then I was watching it another day, and it was on again. I was like, oh my God, I didn't know she was actually going to wear it, and she had it twice on the show, which was really, really sweet. So I was like, and she was my favorite character on The Real Housewives of Cheshire. So that was nice. That was really nice.
Love that for you.
I know.
How would you describe your personal style? Because you're a very stylish person. I think you're very, very stylish. So how would you describe your personal style?
It goes through phases. I don't really know. It's a mood thing, right? For me, it's always a mood thing. Sometimes I can be very tomboyish. People that know me, I don't really like wearing fitted stuff, even though funny today I'm wearing something fitted, which is, trust me, it's so unusual for me to wear anything that's body hugging, even though it's not really, but it is to me. I love baggy. Like, I love androgynous style. I love giving me an oversized t-shirt, oversized trousers, oversized everything. That's my personal style.
Yeah.
Not very sexy. My friends and my daughter like, Mom, show your body a bit more. And my mom's like, show your legs. Can't stand my legs. I try not to show my legs. But yeah, I just like comfort, like comfort and cool. Like, I'm not sexy. I'm cool. I think cool. That's my style. Is like, I just want to be relaxed and cool. Yeah.
Love that.
That's my personal style.
So then, what is your favorite Nubian Skin piece?
So I have the vest. What do you call it?
Camisole.
The camisole. I love a good camisole. So I actually have two now, two camisoles, but I do need more Nubian skin. So that for me, and I bought one that I ended up cutting short because I needed a vest camisole, and I wanted to save it so long. And then one day I was so desperate to wear like a nude camisole, and I was like, "F it, I'm just gonna cut it." And I cut it, and I think not too long after you gave me one, you gave me a brown one. I was like, "Damn!" And now I wish I had it because I was wearing something the other day, and I really needed a nude kind of like dress length slip, yeah. But yeah, so camisoles are my favorite. But there is something I've been eyeing for a while, which is the lace. I don't know if you still do it. Even the lace. Remember you had a lace set?
Yeah, the blue giant collection.
Yes, like I remember when I first saw that. I was like, that is beautiful. So yeah, I don't know. Do you still do it?
We'll have to see.
I remember you said
it might be on super sale actually, so you might be lucky. So we'll have to sort you out.
Yeah, give me a good nude camisole. Yeah, goes with everything. Yeah.
And thank you so much for all of your little nuggets. Before we go, I would love to ask, what is a piece of advice that you've been given over the years that you would like to share with our audience?
I don't know if it's something that someone gave me, but something that I'm trying to bring into my life, which has really helped me a lot recently, is overthinking. It's debilitating.
Yeah.
And I think for women especially, we overthink everything. And I found myself recently, I think it was just last week even, and I would just overthink it. And I realized, why am I feeling so stressed? My mind was constantly overworking and thinking about things that I had no business thinking about, worrying about things that I had no business worrying about that wasn't even an issue.
Yeah.
And I was making it an issue. I was making it bigger than it needed to be. And I was like, Caroline, just cut the noise.
Yeah.
So I literally told myself, cut the noise, just stop. Like if you find yourself thinking about something that you really do not, replace it with something that's important to think about. If you do have to think about something that you should be thinking about that's really relevant right now, whether it's, okay, what am I doing tomorrow for business? Something that makes you happy. So I did that, and I swear to God, within a week,
wow,
I found myself, I was in so much better place, and thinking about things that I needed to, and so working towards something that I really need to think about rather than things I don't. So overthinking, it's just, that's my best advice right now. If you can train yourself to just not think about, cut the noise.
I like that, cut the noise. That's brilliant. Thank you so much. This has been so much fun.
Thank you.
So for those who don't already follow you, tell us where we can find you. Where can we find your art? Where can we follow you on social media?
So my main places is obviously my website, chinakwe.com, and my page, Caroline Chinakwe, my personal page, Caroline Chinakwe, and my business page on Instagram is Chinakwe_.
Lovely. Thank you so much. This is so great. And thanks for having us in your gorgeous, gorgeous studio.
Anytime. I need to do you next, by the way.
There you go. All right. Thank you, everybody. Take care.
Bye.